welcome to the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always an instant classic.
And you're Woo!
And we want to punch Jim Cornette in the face repeatedly until he bleeds because he's stupid. We'll see you on the flippity dippity. Oh yeah. We are back. I kind of wanted to start off like Justin there for a second, but no.
Like really angry?
Yeah, we are back. Back to do our weekly six-pack. We are gonna start, I guess, changing it to Monday because it makes the week flow a little bit better. Hopefully, we actually posted on Monday. Last time it got a little. But anyway, we were talking about our top 6 missed opportunities with superstars, wrestlers, whatever you want to call them. I specifically stayed with WWE, but we didn't have to. DJ probably went to like every promotion ever. But I picked WWE for mine just because they do it so often. They sign people and then don't use them and release them, and you know. But there was a couple I was going to put on my list. But I didn't, just because either they did, have a good run in WWE and WWE they didn't click together, or they butted heads a lot, or there was drug issues. So those were CM Punk, AJ Lee, and Jeff Hardy. Like I said, they had good runs, but for whatever reason, CM Punk didn't agree with WWE. Jeff Hardy had his drug issues, and Vince just didn't really believe in him or like him. And then AJ Lee, obviously, there was issues there too. So I didn't put those on the list just for those reasons, but they could have been on the list. I do have an honorable mention, so I'll go through that quick. It's basically a ton of WCW wrestlers that were either signed or not signed after the buyout of WCW, because there was a bunch of them that they signed and just didn't use well, and there was a bunch of them that they didn't sign or didn't buy their contracts that could have been really good. There was too many to list, so I didn't want to list them all, but there was just a lot of them that they missed out opportunities on back after they bought WCW. But do either of you have honorable mentions?
I guess I kind of.
40.
I know who. I don't know. I do have more than 6, so I guess I'll throw some people in my honorable mentions category. Actually, I have 7. I'm gonna go with my honorable mention as being Santana Garrett, both in TNA and in WWE, because she looked really like I know she had potential, and yes, she's my girl. I know she had potential. I could see it just from the little bit that I saw of her, and then she started having that feud in TNA with I think it was Mickey James. No, it was a Taryn Terrell. I think it was.
I want to say Mickey. I thought.
Might be Mickey James. But she had that feud where she was like, never meet your heroes because they always disappoint and all that, and I was excited because I was like, this is the time, this is the moment, and then she gets released like the next week, and I was like, but I think Santana Garrett's still one that has a lot of potential. I hope TNA goes back and gets her. I thought they would see the error in their ways, but they never did. And then another one I'm gonna put in there just because now I'm really thinking. And I was thinking about this one anyway. I just didn't write him down. I'm gonna go with Manic/Suicide. I think he was kind of a missed opportunity for TNA. They threw him in the gimmicky Suicide gimmick, and he did well with it for what he could do with it. He did well with it. And then we finally were gonna get T.J. Perkins unmasked, no mask, hair going places. He was ready. He was ready to take that next step, and then he was gone. TJ, I just thought he was kind of one too, and no, my list isn't full of TNA guys. Those were just 2 I could think of off the top of my head. I didn't necessarily put them on my list, but they were right there. They were right there, and they were in the running.
He's lying. It's all TNA. It's all TNA for him.
Because screw those guys, right?
Yeah, yeah. Uh, Amy, do you have any honorable mentions since you went from 4 to 8 somehow?
Yeah, I have two. I was able to comment on. I have two. I have MVP, whom I thought WWE didn't utilize pretty well. He was over well with the fans and was a great worker and pretty athletic. And even though he had like some pending or a charge that went away or something, and they got rid of him like that, which would sucked because he could have been easily a great mid card talent. And then Alex Riley, which we discussed on the release video, had great potential with his repackaging. I think the repackaging went well, but they just gave up, in my opinion.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that one. So jumping into our six packs, my number 6 is going to be Ken Shamrock. Um, he had a really good run, but I feel like they could have done so much more with him. He was so good at submission work. Um, wasn't the best on the mic, but he was one of those guys who didn't need to be good on the mic. He had a good presence. He was good in the ring. Um, I think he could have made it up to the main event picture. I think WWE just didn't see it, I guess. But I mean, I think he did have a couple of title runs. I think he was IC champion for a little bit.
He held the hardcore intercontinental tag titles and European title.
Yeah. But I mean, I think he could have made it to the main event. I don't know if they would have put the belt on him, but I think they kind of fell short a little bit with him just because he was so good. I mean, he did go on to wrestle a little bit in other promotions too, like TNA, back in the beginning of TNA. But I always really liked him, and I wish they did more with him. But Amy, number 6.
Oh, my number 6 is Naomi. She's had a good run in a team aspect, in my opinion, with Team Bad and everything. That's great. And when she did work with the Usos, that was pretty well done. But the woman had title run attempts, and then they just throw her aside when this girl's back from injury. That's who we want. Bye, Naomi. Thanks for the place filler. She's hardworking, one of the most athletic in there, and they just kind of throw her to the side and say, she's filler. So 6 is definitely Naomi. She definitely deserves a title shot. She can do one heck of a run. She's got the crowd, and she's got the talent. I say go with it.
Yeah. DJ?
All right. Whenever I line up with someone, I always move around my list. So my number 6 will also be Naomi. Because I definitely agree. She's ultra talented. She's very talented. I actually like the singles gimmick that they gave her. I think it did give her a little bit of a chance to kind of show. I don't know necessarily if it was herself because from what I've seen, it's not necessarily herself. But at least it gave her something to kind of run with, something to gravitate towards, which was nice. I like the light up shoes. I'm gonna get some. I'm gonna get me some coming up soon. You know. But yeah, I think Naomi. I still hope. I know she's injured right now, but I hope they still give her a chance. She came from the Funkadactyl thing and kind of made herself into a really serious character with this new kind of heel run. Not necessarily new anymore, but new at the time heel run. So I kind of hope they still give her a chance. And please change the review. I can't. I mean, I know the bud is big and all, but please, please, like.
All right, DJ can't handle the review. He can't do it. Moving on. My number 5, sort of similar to my number 6 in a way, is Lance Storm. Again, really good in the ring, really good technical work. Some would say kind of boring. He was, just kind of a, serious guy, so he didn't. I don't know if he didn't really have a personality because I don't. We always had that same Lance Storm, so I don't know if that was him, or if that was kind of their gimmick they tried to put on him. But it was very similar in WCW, WWE, ECW. So that was probably just him. But I just always really liked him, from ECW to WWE to WCW. I liked his work in the ring. I felt like he could have, again, like Ken Shamrock, could have made it to that, main event scene. I feel like they used him a little bit better in ECW and WCW than WWE, but still, he just didn't. I felt like he didn't make it to his potential. But that's my number 5. Amy?
What? Real quick, Casey, was Lance with Test in the Un-Americans? Was he the one who did that with Test?
Yeah, he did that with Test and Christian, and then in WCW, Team Canada.
I was trying to figure out the tag team. I had it in my head.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Storm was underutilized. I personally liked Can I Be Serious for a moment. I got a laugh out of it.
Yeah.
That was just me, though. Number 5. One that still hits home because it's still fresh. Damian Sandow. A man of many talents. You could have had this man taken Perry Saturn's gimmick with a mop and made it phenomenal. Honestly, they lost their opportunity with him really big. He had the ability to be, I think, world champion. The man even won the Money in the briefcase, Money in the Bank briefcase, and still had a decent crowd following at the time and has the talent. He's no one's sidekick, in my opinion. The man can steal a show. To steal something from Dolph Ziggler, the man can steal the show. And I just don't know why they stopped with him. I think they just ran out of, honestly, gimmicks for him to do. They didn't want him to be Damian Sandow, the Mizdow, or whatever the hell else he was doing. Macho Mandow or something like that, I think, at one point. But, yeah, I would have loved to see more with Sandow. I know he's going to do a thank you Sandow tour or something like that. He tweeted. So I can't wait to see what promotions he's doing that with because I want to catch one. The man can wrestle. They gave him what we call a Divas match and let him get beat up for 2 minutes, and that was it. So good luck, Damien, and poor man.
Okay.
All right, number 5. I'm going to go with my boy, Adrian Adonis. No, I'm not going to go with Adrian Adonis. That was a joke. Haha. I don't know what my number 5 is going to be. Because we're only on number 5. We're not on number 4. That's what got me confused. My number 5 is going to be... I'm going to go with Jack Swagger. Jack Swagger. Simply because I think Jack Swagger has always been a talented wrestler, and he always puts on good matches. I love the Rusev versus Swagger feud and kind of the dynamics of the storylines within that feud. I love the We the People thing, especially when Zeb Coulter was in it when it first started. Love that. Yeah, I agree. I love that. But I just feel like, I don't know if it was like the first run that he had as champion, his first little run as the All-American American, has some sort of stigma to me. Like, I don't know if it was like that he was just wasn't ready yet, like he just looked too young. I don't know what it was, but I just feel like they dropped the ball on that, and now they continue to drop the ball on Jack Swagger because he just comes in for his Casey and I joke about this all the time. He comes in for his 3-month push, and then he's gone. And that's kind of what they do with him, which sucks. But I hope to see more of Jack Swagger in the near future. I definitely like Jack Swagger. I just hope they give him a chance, man.
I'm sure you'll see him, for 3 months. All right, moving on to number 4. My number 4 is going to be Drew McIntyre. when he debuted in WWE, they debuted him so strong. He was going to be the next big thing, the next guy, and then they automatically just flushed that ball down the toilet. And he was stuck in mid-card hell for so long and just thrown around in different storylines and gimmicks. And honestly, I think the best thing they did with him, it was still kind of stupid and gimmicky, was 3MB. I mean, at least he was getting, TV time. At least he was getting matches. But man, they could have done so much with him if they kept that push and didn't just, give up on it like immediately. And another guy that, they didn't use well, and he went on to TNA, and he is one of the top guys now in TNA. It's unfortunate that they didn't. He again could have been in that number one contender, that main event picture, but they just didn't use him right. Amy, number 4.
My number 4 goes to by far my current favorite women's wrestler in WWE right now is Paige. The poor woman, that poor woman had a great start. Like the first maybe 4 months, I'm going to say her career was great. Debut as a WWE Divas Champion, and then AJ goes away. She takes on the entire roster. AJ comes back. She loses to her, but that feud continues. There's something between the AJ and Paige feud that just captivated the both of them and made them both better. And I think she was only a 2-time Divas champ, because I think she won the second title on her birthday in August, SummerSlam, I believe. And then that was a great run. She had some okay runs in the middle of that. The AJ Paige feud is by far her best one. And then when they went against the Bellas at WrestleMania, that was a good match for them as well. But after those, that's really all they gave her that was good. In the middle, it was just crap. Jobber matches. The woman can wrestle. She comes from a long line of wrestlers. And she comes from a European-style wrestling, which is a lot tougher than these girls can handle. Which kind of makes sense as to why some of the matches suck, or they really didn't put her in too much. But the woman currently has an 0-14 streak going for WWE women's title matches. Ever since she's lost, she's 0-14. They will build her up, and then she will lose that match. When there was I called it the One Page Revolution. When she was again, it was like a Mean Girl scene. It was Paige versus the Bellas, which entitled the entire locker room. She had lost all those title shots because of Twin Magic, and then all of a sudden the NXT women show up, and then they throw her to the curb. Just threw her to the curb. They even used that at one point in a storyline, saying they just forgot about Paige and don't really care. And now we don't ever see her. We're lucky. If we see her on Superstars or Main Event, and she's putting over everyone in the world. Charlotte, she just put over Dana Brooke pretty decently last week, 2 weeks ago on SmackDown. Not exactly sure which one. But misused talent, one of the top talent current in their women's division. And she's not injured, which is phenomenal, because there's only 5 of them left that aren't injured. And they're still not even using her. They used her on the kickoff panel as a commentator, which is comedy gold, by the way. That was great. But title shot, or at least a better run, and not losing every match in the world, unless it's in England, because that's the only place they seem to let her win these days. All right, my rant is over. Sorry, DJ. You know that's coming if I say a certain name, just a rant.
DJ, number 4?
What? Number 4?
Yeah.
Number 4. My number 4. I'm trying to I try to order these in my head before I do them, and because I never write them down in order, I just try to order them in my head, and it never works. Um, but I'm gonna go. My number 4 is gonna be Fandango. Um, yes, Fandango. I like him a lot still to this day. I just think, and I have the same feeling about the No Way Jose thing. It's just the dancing gimmick gives you nowhere to go. After a while, same thing happened with Brodus Clay. When he started
I
dancing, he
agree.
just had no, it makes you a joke, which sucks, because you can be a really good wrestler, but if you're a joke character-wise, it's kind of hard to really take you seriously. And Fandango, I think Fandango is a lot more talented than we see. Um, because even in the match when he beat Chris Jericho at WrestleMania, they didn't really show much of him. It was just kind of a quick thing, like, oh, I beat Chris Jericho, and then they kind of tried to build on it, but then they just kind of gave up on it because Fandango kind of got himself over, and God forbid if you do that. Um, oh, there's still time. There's still time for Fandango, so I'm hoping that he gets another character. Because I don't think the dancing thing's gonna go anywhere. They even tried to change it and go new and improved and give him a Latin feel. Didn't work.
They tried that.
So yeah, that's what
They
I was
tried
saying.
that. The second repackaging of Fandango, they tried the Latin thing and it really didn't work.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like they tried it and it was like, no,
Oh, sorry, it's glitchy. I'm
it's alright.
sorry, it's glitchy.
Hey,
But
it's alright.
he honestly is a good mid card talent. I would say let the man go either after Kalisto or not Kalisto, Rusev. That's not gonna be a good feud. But the Miz, I think he could work well with the Miz if you give him an IC title run. Fans love him. Give the man a shot.
Yeah, I definitely
Hashtag get
agree.
Fandango.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fandango.
All right. Number 3 for me is Adam Rose. This guy, if you just, I know, the Adam Rose gimmick in general was kind of, it's almost like the dancing like Fandango gimmick. It was only gonna work for so long, but I think he's really good in the ring, and also just his range and character that he can do. If you watch his old promos as Leo Kruger, so good. And even he works the Adam Rose really well. I think, like I've been saying for a while, I want them to repackage him back as Leo Kruger. I think that could work a little bit better on the main roster. But just the fact that they're not using him, that they're, just kind of throwing.
So you're saying you haven't heard the news?
What news?
He's
What?
Apparently he's
released.
been released. Apparently he's been released.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Yeah, I'm.
It was today, right?
I
I think it was today.
It was. It was earlier today.
Fuck you, WWE. Fuck you.
Well, they couldn't get past the charge.
I just,
Okay, so you can future plans. You feel like maybe since we are talking about missed opportunities, and you feel like it's a missed opportunity.
honestly, I could see him going to any promotion and doing well. I really could, and I hope he does find, like we said, we watched him on, I think it was the Breaking Ground, or no, it was the ESPN special that they had, and that's where we kind of, I think me and DJ kind of earned a new respect for him, just with his family and everything like that, trying to, make it for his family and things like that. So I hope that, I don't know. I just think he's a really good talent for any promotion. I think he could go to TNA and do well. I think he could go to Ring of Honor and do well. Pretty much anywhere. I hope this isn't the end of his career. I hope, he, continues to try to find another place to wrestle because he is a good talent. Amy. Amy's about to
Yeah.
say something. She had that face like, I want to say something so hard.
I hold on. I can't understand. Sorry, I'm doing work for Dirty Deeds as well.
This is why we can't have nice things.
You know what? I'm telling you, everything was fine when we were talking and DJ's thing came on and it started messing up.
It's all DJ's fault. Blame DJ.
Hashtag blame DJ.
It looked like you were about to say something about Adam Rose. You had your, I'm going to say something.
Hush. But yes. And there's Seth Rollins on my screen. Miley's flipping out somewhere. Adam Rose, I think he's talented. However, he's going to have a hard time overcoming that charge for any company to look at him right now. I think it takes a few months, maybe possibly a year before he goes back into wrestling for anyone to at least take a chance on him. And I think his character is a reincarnation, the PG-ish version of The Godfather, if you think about it. Very similar in nature. And why is Rollins in the suit? My number 4, though, or 3 is the show-off Dolph Ziggler. Love that man. He had a okay run as, World Heavyweight Champ. I mean, that wasn't an issue. I loved him, AJ, and Big E. I think that was hilarious. And then that feud, and then when it turned into Caitlyn and Dolph versus AJ and Big E, that was actually pretty well packaged. Hated him in the Spirit Squad. Good Lord, Nikki, no. But that version of the show-off was his best. And then as he gets a little bit better and more talented in the ring, they just throw him aside and have him put over anyone in the world. I mean, he's done it with every new NXT, almost all the new NXT talent. We saw it with Tyler Breeze with that feud, now with Baron Corbin. And they're going nowhere with him. He's just there to try and make these guys a little bit better if he can. And then they say, oh, you're done. Forget you, Ziggler. We don't even see him in really much of a title picture. I think IC title, was he in the WrestleMania ladder match? Some ladder match for the IC title, and that was it, really. And it sucks because he's a great talent. He was good as a World Heavyweight Champ, but the picture today, I don't think they would have him. But I think he deserves, like, the US or the IC title again. I think he could do well with that and make it a little bit better, especially with the US title. I think he could have great opponents for that, good feuds. We don't have to have David versus Goliath. We don't have to have the Goliath brute trying to destroy everyone's back 10 times over. But yeah, Dolph, I think he was just misused after that very short time period.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that one. And it's unfortunate because he was in a couple IC title matches, but he was one of those guys that you saw on the card and you knew immediately he wasn't going to win because he was just going to be one of those guys that does the exciting spots and puts the other guys over in that match. But DJ, number 3.
All right, number 3. Since I agreed with Casey on one of them, I'm going with Adam Rose. I I can't get over the fact that they put him on that ESPN special and then did what they did to him. And I just hope that, that whatever the charges were, I don't remember all the details, but I'm just hoping he can kind of just overcome that and get a job elsewhere, especially since he's been released already. Because I feel like he's still a good talent, and sometimes when it gets to a point where you have a little bit of history, or you have this charge that's on you, it takes a little bit of time to get a job back, but people will take a chance on you if they feel like you can really be an asset to the company. So I'm just hoping he gets another chance because I feel like it's one of those things where working in the business that you love can turn your mindset around a little bit. So I'm just hoping he gets another chance because I feel like he was really talented. I love the Adam Rose gimmick. Even when people got tired of it, I still liked it. Um, I never really got to see him as Leo Kruger, but I was excited and I wanted to see him as Leo that name, Mr. Kruger. I wanted to see him as Leo Kruger, but Adam Rose is definitely one of those guys who I think was just misused and then put into the social outcast, which should have been something much better than it was. You can even I can even put those other three on there on the list of misused. I feel like, but yeah, I just feel like Adam Rose number three.
Yeah, I was gonna say something and then I forgot, and then yeah. Anyway, moving on to number two. I'm trying to remember what I was gonna say. It was something about Adam Rose. It really was. It was something to do with the rose that is Adam, and I can't not remember what it. Oh no. Like Amy said, with the charges, I think it was domestic violence or something and witness tampering,
Yes.
something like that. I yeah, you know, it may take like Amy said, 6 months to a year if somebody does give him a chance. But I think in the long run, that could be a good thing for him. It'll fans will kind of not forget about him, but it'll sort of you know make it more exciting when if he does come back to another company. Just kind of that time off and then have like a big, debut in whatever company that he, decides to whatever company decides to give him a chance if they do. I just think time off like that would make it even better. Because if it's one of those things where if he gets released now, like say if there wasn't those charges, if he got released now and he was signed next week by TNA or next week by Ring of Honor, it would be cool, but it wouldn't be as exciting as if he was gone for a while and then came back. I just think that would work better. But moving on to number two, my number two is one of the best superstars WWE has and doesn't use well at all. Bray Wyatt. This man, this man is so good. Oh my God. And they do not use him well. They just continue to bury him and put him in storylines that go nowhere. And oh my God. He is so incredibly talented and so good for a man his size. And I know we're going to go to the Justin, he's fat. But for his size, the man can do amazing things in the ring, and he's so good. His character is so good. He's amazing on the mic. He's amazing in the ring. Why is he not my world heavyweight champion? Why? Oh, I don't get it. I don't get it.
It's funny. It's funny too. He's a WWE made character on top of that.
Yeah, yeah. Amy number two. I can't.
Well, for Bray Wyatt at least, he's got to stay healthy. The man stays injured, to be quite honest. That's why at WWE Roadblock, when he was supposed to take on Brock Lesnar, it never happened. So he's got to stay healthy. And DJ, I did agree with you about the social outcast. I thought they could have done something better. I know that was their gimmick that they created, the outcast at least. I think they were trying to go off a New Day vibe type deal. Just didn't work. But my number two, ink stops freezing. Come on, stop freezing. There we go. Sorry, glitching, because I swear Google Plus hates me. My number two is Natalia. definitely hardworking WWE female superstar. She was kind of cursed in a way coming in as a heart, in my opinion. They kind of took that and said, oh, she's a heart. This is what we're going to say. This is what we're going to do. She did have a title run. It wasn't the best, in my opinion. I think they can do a lot more with her. She's a strong character in the ring, on the mic, whatever you need her to do, that woman can do it. But she just got sidelined because she's a heart. She started off really as a valet for the Heart Foundation, new Reformed Heart Foundation, which is with Davey Smith and Tyson Kidd. And we see her countless great matches that she can try and make happen. Her actual NXT match with Charlotte was really well. She's a great tactician in the ring, and they just don't utilize her at all. And I think, to be quite honest, this run is only because Bret Hart is getting over cancer. That's it. I feel like there's animosity toward the Hart family still, and she's getting shafted. She should be our women's champion. That woman got screwed at NXT, well, Extreme Rules. Before that, good God. They have someone run in for someone else, but not her, which makes no sense. And I don't know. They made that match so god-awful. It was just sad because she's great. She's one of the best they have, and the best there is, and the best there ever will be in that division, and they cannot see that or get past, hey, she's a heart. That's it. They did the Montreal Screwjob in Chicago. If that doesn't say something, I don't know what does. So, yep, Natty, cat, go down.
I have to agree with that, but also I kind of have to add to that. I think Tyson Kidd as well, and partially with Tyson Kidd,
my honorable mention next.
yeah, he is injury prone. I know that he's been injured a lot, but I think he was really good in the ring, and unfortunately, with them not booking him, and then with all the injuries and stuff, but DJ. Numero two.
Numero dos. This one was a tough one for me because I had always thought about this one, but I never really. I was kind of like, should I put him on here? And my number 2 is Tony Chimmel, because that man. No, I just saw him on the roster page. That's why I said that. No. My number 2 is Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin, loved him in the World's Greatest Tag Team. I think as a tag team wrestler, he was kind of generic. But I love the World's Greatest Tag Team as a tag team. And I liked the Golden Standard thing, and then they decided to bring Mama in, and then Vince McMahon fooling with my. Oh my! Why? Only from Vince McMahon's mind can this stuff come from. Like, goodness. The Golden Standard thing was actually pretty cool. Like, I actually kind of liked it. It made sense a little bit. The gold and the gold kind of, I liked it. I kind of liked the feel of it. I haven't seen him in a long time, even on the indies. And I recently just started watching indies like a year or two ago, so that's probably why. But, he was one of those guys I just felt like was always misused. When he always put on pretty good matches. I always felt like in ladder matches he was always the highlight of the show. But yeah, Shelton Benjamin, number 2.
All right. My number 1. One of the greatest talents of all time. Blue Pants. Okay. No, this one is still kind of fresh. And it's
Michael Cole.
No, it's not Michael Cole. They use him too much, and they need to get him off my TV.
He needs to be off my TV right now.
Yeah. But my number one is, one of my favorite wrestlers growing up. WWE just recently, a while back, signed him, like a year or two ago, and then he got injured and retired. My number one is Sting. When they finally got him signed, they had a huge opportunity to do a dream match that fans have wanted. First of all, fans wanted to see Sting in WWE for years. And then they wanted to see Sting versus Taker for so long. That was such a huge match they could have had. And no, they wanted to basically have DX do over NWO. And it just, again, another FU to WCW. Vince will never stop trying to say FU to WCW in some way. I just think, they could have done so much with him, and unfortunately, he got injured and had to retire, and it still is very fresh to me anyway. Um, uh, I don't know. Amy, number one.
My number one. This one is really, really fresh, as in this week. My number one is Cody Rhodes. Well, we found out the official reason this week, put it that way. Cody was great. He adapted to whatever they wanted him to do. You saw him grow in the years that when he started with dashing Cody Rhodes, and then he was with Ted DiBiase Jr. in Legacy. When he could be a heel, he could be a face. Great wrestling ability, and he grew on the mic like no other. Especially we saw that when he became Stardust, which if we had said that was just they didn't know what the hell to do with him. Let's paint you up like your brother and go with it. Even though a different title run with him, I think he could have been a champion for sure. But even getting thrown out to Stardust, he killed it. He got fans, he had the booze, he made it interesting. That weird thing always got to me. Yep. But I don't know, the man I think is just really well-rounded in the wrestling world. He grew, and you saw it, and that's what you want to see is when they start off. You want to see them grow, develop, and be able to progress and take the talents that they've acquired from developing and put it to full use. However, WWE really didn't care. Just threw it to the side. They didn't even respond to the man. Phone calls, emails, whatever the heck. They didn't care, and that's sad because I think he could have been a world champion at some point, possibly when they had two titles. A champion. Right now in this era, I could possibly see them somehow putting him as WWE champ if they play their cards right. Not with Seth's back now, but yeah, I think he was just a wasted talent. In his end days, I think Stardust should have been a champion in his own right somewhere. If they're gonna make him stick with it, they should have let Stardust be the U.S. champion or the Intercontinental champion.
Yeah.
My opinion.
And
DJ.
To kind of add to that, I think you have to give him the respect because he brought back a little bit of legitimacy to the Intercontinental title when he brought back the classic title. So that was cool. But I think he was kind of similar to Natty in the animosity toward his family. Back in the day, Vince didn't want to sign Dusty Rhodes to WWE, but the fans wanted him so bad. So, they signed him, they put him in ridiculous polka dots. They put Dustin as Gold Dust. They tried to make that family fit, and they made everything work. Dusty made everything work. Dustin made Gold Dust work. Cody made everything that they made put him in work, and they still do not respect that family. I think the only reason they did the Dusty Rhodes Memorial Battle or Tag Team Classic and the statue is for the fans. Otherwise, I really don't think Vince would have done anything.
They wouldn't even let Eaton change her name to Rhodes.
Yeah.
No, they wouldn't.
So, DJ.
But yeah, I agree with both
Sad.
of y'all points. I don't want to repeat anything y'all said because I'd practically say the same thing. But yeah, I definitely agree. My number one is Captain Charisma, Christian. Christian as a tag team guy, and I mean more so when he was as a singles guy, because as a tag team guy, Christian was like flawless. Christian was great. I loved Christian. Christian as a tag team on the Edge and Christian show, the Totally Reeks of Awesomeness, terrific. I love it. But I feel like Christian was really good. I loved it when he first brought out the Peeps thing. He started trying to copy The Rock. He first got the haircut and whatnot. And he was doing all the temp tantrum and stuff. I loved that. But then, like, I think it was like right before he went to TNA and right after he came back from TNA, it was just like they just was like, nope, we don't like you anymore. I don't know why, because I thought Christian was really good. I really did like Christian a lot. I like the one more match thing. That lasted for so long. I really liked that though. And I do feel like TNA made him feel like just a bigger star than WWE did as a singles guy. Freaking the Instant Classic Christian Cage had me on the edge of my seat all the time. And I love that little jacket he wore with the C on it, and then he used to come out and do a little thing he used to do in WWE and look around. I love that. Oh man, it was great. I wish he would have stayed in TNA because I just felt like he was just underutilized talent. I was about to make up a word just now. Underutilized talent when it came to just him as a singles guy, because he was good. I even felt like he was good in promos. I like Christian Cage, Christian Captain Charisma, Father of the Peeps. I don't know. Anything we call him, I love it. God, I still love Christian to this day.
I mean, if WWE didn't basically, terminate his in-ring contract.
Contract?
Yeah. I would love to see him versus AJ Styles again, because we saw that in TNA, and it was really good. I would love to see them face off in WWE. I think that would be a really good match. But Christian is getting older, so I don't know. I don't know if it was a little bit mutual that they terminated his in-ring contract, and now he's just kind of doing the Edge and Christian show that totally leaked the off in this, or what. But I mean, either way, they really weren't using him anyway, so it's kind of for the best. But that was our top 6 missed opportunities in.
Wait! I got one more. One more. I'm gonna let Amy go first.
Mine's kind of too
we
many.
should have made a 12-pack. We should just have made a 12-pack.
12. We should have. It's too many to name, but I think the WWE misused when they had your weight division. You had great tactician wrestlers. They might not be the biggest, buffest guys, but it's a cruiserweight division. They're not supposed to be big and buff, but they're great, like, submission wrestlers. And they put on some phenomenal cruiserweight challenge. We should have. Go, DJ.
All right. So I'm gonna need y'all to not laugh at me when I say this, because it is
You need
true.
to be serious?
Yes, I need you to be serious for a minute. Okay, so the person that is being misused to this day Still, right now, on Monday Night Raw and on SmackDown and on house shows, is JoJo. It's happening. I can see it. She's not being used enough, and she deserves better than this.
You know what?
And
I
1B,
think she's got
Michael
some-
Tarver.
She has talent. She might not be a wrestler, but I think she could be a good backstage personality.
And you know what? I would give Michael Tarver a chance if he wasn't given that crappy character. He was given a crappy quitter character, and I'll never forget that he was a quitter on NXT. He was a quitter. Michael Tarver, you suck. I don't hate you.
You know who else?
Probably nice.
You know who else is a quitter? You know who else is a quitter? He's in NXT, and he's apparently a perfect 10 who can't finish freaking feud.
He didn't quit the feud.
Quitter.
He said, I don't need this feud because he's a 10. He's a 10. He's a 10.
Pilgrim, I like turkey. Is that it? Because I'm a pilgrim, like turkey.
Any other comments or thoughts, Amy? Because we're going to argue this point.
You know, I could, but there's arguments that would probably be brought up, and I'm good.
All right. Michael Tarver was so much better. He was amazing. He had the mask and everything. He was so good. Anyway, that was our six-pack missed opportunities in wrestling for competitors, wrestlers, superstars, whatever you want to call them. Every company calls them something different. Don't forget to follow on Twitter, like the video, comment on the video, subscribe, share the video, all that stuff, and we will be back tomorrow for our Impact Wrestling review, our Total Nonstop Action Impact Wrestling review. That is really hard to say. So we will see you then on the dippity. That is, of course, very flippity. Peace out, Cub Scouts.